Hey guys, welcome to our first Pilates workout. We're going to start with a little stretch before we begin. So legs wide, reach all the way up, and then let's lower down into second position. So elbows on the inside of the thighs to help push the hips open. And you can just sway side to side just to get comfortable. We're going to stretch over to one side, so arm overhead. Reach over to the other side. And let's stretch all the way up. So you're just going to switch the position of the feet. So one foot about 45 degrees, another foot straight ahead, and switch to the other side. So you're hinging over the hips, keeping the chest open and stretched down. So let's carefully rotate forward, circle up just to help open up the hips, stretch the back a little bit. Again, just warming everything up. So a couple small circles and back down to the mat. So you can come up on the toes, start warming up the calves. Again, just staying in that stretch. Stay on the toes in that wide second position and back down to the feet. So again, just warming up a little bit further. We're going to perform a rear pulse. So keep pulsing back, hold, and let's switch to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, keep going. So after those 10 pulses, let's just warm up the ankles with a couple circles. So just switch directions and warm up on the other side. Circle in one direction. And circle back. So bring the feet wide. Couple calf raises, again just to warm up. Try to prep the balance. And we're going to reach down into a squat, reach all the way up. Arch the back, open up the lungs, come down, and then if you want to, you can reach up on the toes. And let's get into the workout. We're going to start with our glutes and legs first. So you're going to need a sturdy chair, something that's not going to wobble too much. We're going to perform a side knee tuck. We're going to extend the leg and pulse up, so 20 reps. So we'll perform this on one side and then we'll switch. So you're going to use the chair for support, one arm straight, down on the seat of the chair, other arm supporting you on the top of the chair. Hips are open, 90-degree bend in the leg to bring the knee to the elbow. Point the toe, extend the leg straight back, and give a small lift up. So that full motion, you may lose your balance a little bit, that's okay. So that full motion of the knee tuck, extend and lift is 1 rep. So, onto the other side. Again, get in the starting position and begin. That's 1, 20 reps. So everything should be working here. Your back should be engaged. Squeeze the abs in. Everything should be awake and active. So try not to just get lazy and slack off in form. Just really think about everything working to keep you in that good, strong position. Almost there. So our next exercise, back to this first side, we're going to start in that side position. You're going to put a slight bend in the knee, so it's not fully a 90-degree bend. So you're going to give a little pulse up in that bent position, which is called an attitude, and then you're going to perform a side kick. So attitude, pulse, and side kick, 20 reps. So this is really great for the hips. It's great for the butt. So it helps pull and tighten in that area. It's good for toning. It's good for building endurance, for building balance. So really focus, keep everything active. So same thing on the other side. Get in that starting position, slight bend in the leg. So you almost want to lock your leg in that position. So even the supporting leg here is working for you. So just focus on everything that's working. Focus on maintaining good form. Breathe through to the end. Almost there. So next we're going to perform a plie to a releve and a side kick. So I'll show you, you're going to use the chair. So this is how you're going to use it for support. And I'll perform the exercise without the chair so you can get a visual of the motion. So you're going to come down for a plie, come up, kick the leg up to the side. So this is a very different form from our traditional squat. Instead of hinging over the hips, reaching the butt back, you're going to keep everything in line. So you want to think about a nice straight body line. As you're lowering into the squat, you want to think about tucking the hips under. So pull the abs up, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward as you're lowering down. So it's not putting pressure in the knees. It's really about slow control, using those glutes and using your quads. So 20 reps, which breaks down to 10 kicks per side. So I'll just show you from the side so you can see. As I'm coming down, I'm not arching my back out. I'm keeping my butt tucked under, so I'm thinking about almost as if there's a string holding me up. So a nice straight body line. Next, we're going to perform a knee tuck and a kick back. So 20 reps. So think about using the abs to pull that knee into the chest, and then use the glutes and the hamstrings to really press the leg back, point the toes, and almost think about extending the leg. Use the chair for support. Almost there. So let's switch to the other side. In same position, so you're really leaning over the chair. So you want to step back maybe a foot or two. Tuck the knee into the chest. Kick and extend the leg back. It's almost back and up, so it's a little lift at the end. We're almost through our section of legs and glutes. We've got one more exercise to go after this. So at last, we have our plie with a toe tap, and we're going to rotate the leg forward and kick. So we're starting with one leg. So squat down, pulse and tap the toe. As you're coming up, you're going to rotate the leg forward and lift up. So a little focus on the inner thighs here. Keep going, and then we'll switch to the other side. Almost there. So take a little stretch if you want before you perform the set on the other side. Start low, pulse, and lift for 1. Squat, pulse, lift for 2. Keep going. Pulse, lift for 3. So you're getting a little bit of calf work here too, which is nice. 4, 5, almost there. 6, 7, keep going. 8, and we're going to be moving on to abs next. And here we go. So onto the mat. So we're going to use the chair for the next exercise. But first, let's start out with a basic crunch. So knees bent, hands lightly behind the head, just lifting the shoulders off the mat. 25 reps. And make sure the chin stays off the chest as you're lifting. You want to exhale as you come up, inhale as you lower. Almost there. For our next exercise, we're just going to build upon this, which is where the chair comes into play. So if you want, you can rest between sets, take a little stretch. So for the next exercise, we're going to perform the crunch with our feet elevated. So 20 reps. So you're going to feel a little bit more of your ab wall working here. Keep going. And our next exercise, we're going to build upon this position. So again, if you want to take a little stretch. So next we're going to perform a circle crunch. So we're keeping the feet elevated on the chair. And we're going to dip to the mat in the middle and lift up at the side. So each time you move to the side, you want to think about lifting your shoulder off the mat. So it's engaging the obliques here. And again, 20 reps. Keep breathing. And again, if you want to take a little stretch for our last exercise, we're going to move the chair aside and we're going to perform candlestick reverse crunch. So you can cross the ankles, hands at the sides, slight bend in the knees. You're going to lift the legs up towards the ceiling and try to lift the hips up as you come up to the top. 25 reps. So if this is a little too much, we're just going to switch feet. So I'm taking a little break in between. If you want to break up the set, you can do it that way as well. You can just do 20 reps and do 10 and 10. So if you want to switch ankles, you can do that too. So if you feel like you're having trouble keeping your low back on the mat as you're bringing your legs down, you can always bring the hands under the low back just for a little bit of support. Almost through our abs section, we're moving on to arms next. And for our arms, we're not going to use heavy weights. We're going to use light sets. So if you want to take a little full body stretch before we begin. So this is a nice mellow workout to incorporate in your week, especially when you have more intense workouts going on around it. So we're going to start in a V-seat position. As we're working arms, we're going to continue to work our abs. So we're going to perform a bicep curl in our V-seat position. So elbows glued to the waist, squeeze the weights up and lower to the mat. I'm using 5 pounds here, so you don't need much weight. It's just a little bit of light toning. So 20 reps, and then you're going to hold the V-seat for 10 seconds. Our next exercise is a V press. So it's a little pulse. Just think about a slight bend in the elbows, push the weights forward. Arms are at a diagonal out from the shoulder. And again, maintaining that V-seat. So knees together, legs pointed forward. And again, pause at the top for about 10 seconds after 20 reps. And next we're going to perform 20 presses. So we're getting some good shoulder work here while we're challenging our core to build some endurance. So press those weights straight up. Exhale at the top. We've got one more exercise to go in our V-seat. So again, take about a 10-second hold before you move on. So last one in our V-seat, W press. So again, elbows in at the waist, hands out at a diagonal, and you're going to press the weights up. So last 20 reps here before we move on to our chaturanga push-up. So one more exercise to go in the workout. You're almost there. So take a 10-second hold before moving on. Breathe. Take a little stretch up. So get in that plank position. Shoulders over the wrists. We're going to lower into our chaturanga push-up. So arms are staying into the body, elbows move straight back. So it's not like the traditional push-up where the arms are coming out. So 10 reps. You can always move to the knees if you need to. It's still challenging, but it makes it so you can get through the workout. You're almost there. Nice job. So let's just perform a little stretch. Nice little cool down stretch. It was a pretty mellow workout, but we still want to help work out some of the tension. So lie in child's pose for a few seconds. Take a few good deep breaths. Let the hips relax, the back, the shoulders. Sit from all fours. We're going to bring one foot forward into a low lunge. Stretch up. So think about pushing the hips down. Really sink into the mat to help open up the hips. Stretch up at the top, so help open up the chest. Stretch the back, the shoulders. Bring the hands down. So you want to bring them to the inside of the leg. And we're just going to lower into lizard. So knee stays bent, forearms on the mat. So come back up. We're going to stretch back for a nice little hamstring stretch. You can reach for the toes if you'd like. It's a bit more intense. Or you could keep the hands on the mat for support. Fold forward. So let's go ahead and switch the feet. So again, low lunge. Push the hips into the mat. Stretch up. Look up to the ceiling. Breathe. And bring the hands back down to the mat. So hands on the inside of the leg. So you can stretch to the outside of the foot. It helps to get the hips a little bit more open if you're not as flexible. Forearms on the mat. Hold the stretch for a few seconds. Take a few good deep breaths. Let that tension release. And let's come back up. Stretch back. Hamstring stretch. So flat back and fold. So all in the back of the leg is what we're stretching. If you bring your toes closer, it's going to be more intense. If you push them closer to the mat, it'll release some of that tension. So we're just going to come into a wide leg stretch. Legs out to the side, reach up, fold forward. So this is about as far as I could get into the stretch. I'm just able to get my forearms down. If you can completely fold forward, go for it. If you're not as flexible, just try to bring your hands in front and work towards opening the hips, stretching the insides of the legs. We're going to stretch over to the right. And let's open up the side body. And slow, careful rotation forward, back into that forward fold. And stretch to the other side. And open up the side body. Bring the feet together. Just do a quick little butterfly stretch. So use the elbows to help, again, open up the hips, fold forward. Let's come back up. So we're going to stretch the legs in front. Nice flat back, reach up, deep breath. Exhale and forward fold. So I'm grabbing the ankles here. If you can reach and grab the feet or the toes, go ahead and do so. If you're not as flexible, you can grab onto the back of the thighs. And let's just go into a nice little forward fold. Almost through our stretching, reach up to the top. Arch the back. Awesome job.